at the alley's entrance. Never saw the man move toward her. Never saw his hand raised as he swung quickly, the handle of a long blade coming down on her head. Vicente Salazar climbed the stairs to the fourth-floor apartment on the edge of Dorchester near the Roxbury line. The place smelled like home to him, the aromas of plátanos rellenos and nogados and mile mixing with the ubiquitous pupusas from different apartments swirling in the hallways. He opened the door and walked into the apartment, pulling off his jacket and hanging it on the back of the door. "Hola," his mother greeted him from the sink. She was elbow-deep in pots, and the stove was covered with sweet-smelling pans full of stuffed peppers. "Como era su día?" "English, Mama," he reprimanded her gently. "We speak English in this house." "Ah," she grunted, waving her hand dismissively at him. "How was your day?" she repeated in heavily accented English. "It was fine," he replied, nodding in appreciation of her linguistic surrender. "The store manager says I am to have more responsibility." "Good. More pay, too?" He shook his head. "It is good, though, to be trusted." "Trust should pay more." He said nothing as he made his way over to the battered crib by the window and picked up his daughter. "And how are you, little one?" he asked as he held her up above his face. She beamed down at him, and he brought her in toward his body, hugging her and kissing her cheek as she gurgled and drooled through her smile. "Did you hear that, Rosita? Your papa is getting more respect now." "Respect should pay more, too," his mother said from the stove, her back toward him still. "We are better off here, Mama. Here we can have a life." "In El Salvador you were respected. There you were important." "In El Salvador I was hunted. It was only a matter of time. Besides, my daughter is an American. She will grow up in America." "If we can stay." "Don't worry, Mama. I said I would take care of it, didn't I?" "Si, yes." "Is Miguel home from school yet?" he asked. "No, he seems bad. I think he's worried about school. You should talk to him." "I will. Has the baby eaten?" His mother shook her head. "Well, then," he said to his daughter, "you must eat." He smiled as he kissed her again before he wedged her into her high chair and snapped a bib around her neck. He was mixing her baby food when the knock came at the door. "Vicente Salazar!" a voice yelled from the stairwell. He went to the door and listened. "Yes?" he answered without opening it. "It's the police. Open up!" A wave of terror swept over him, and all of a sudden the smell of the sweet peppers frying on the stove made him ill. "What do you want?" It couldn't be happening. Not to her. Panic ripped through Madeline Steele as her forehead was pushed into the cement, the stink of oil and dirt and asphalt from the Roxbury alley burning her nostrils, the pounding of the rain filling her ears. "Please, no!" "Cállese la Ramoa," the voice behind her hissed. "Ahora usted se sentirá el poder de 13. He had her by the hair, and he pulled her head up hard, bending her neck back to the point she was sure it would break. "Abra sus ojos." She looked up and saw the quicksilver gleam before her eyes, raindrops dancing on a long, thick blade as it was drawn slowly in front of her face. Then it was pressed to her throat, and she felt a sting that paralyzed her as the machete slid lightly over her skin. An eternal moment passed, and then she was face down on the pavement again as she felt her skirt pushed up from behind and her underwear ripped off. In the rain she found it difficult to tell. Was she crying? And if she was, did it matter any more? She found the answer with her eyes closed in the faces of her family dancing before her. It mattered. It mattered because of who she was. It mattered because of who they'd made her. She choked back a breath and forced herself to focus. Out of the corner of her eye she could see her purse lying a few feet away where it must have fallen when the first blow took her on the back of her head. If she could only reach it. The animal behind her was distracted, lost in his determination to position himself to enter her. She wouldn't let that happen. Without warning, she spun on him, her arms shooting out, fingers clawing at him, glancing off his face and digging fast into the flesh where his shoulder met his neck. He screamed, and she gripped him tighter, feeling her fingernails sliding into his skin. He screamed again, louder this time, and pulled away.